Hello, Gemini, and welcome in to your card pull for the second half of August. Today we'll be looking at job and career, love and relationships, and then life path and mission. And before we get started on things specific to you, Gemini, I wanted to point out some of the things that are happening in the second half of the month. The first one, depending on when you end up seeing this, you may have already missed it, but on the 11th through the 14th, there's the Perseid meteor shower. So an excellent time to get to be outside and in nature. Hopefully, if you're in a place where there's not a lot of light pollution, you might be able to see that. But we do have that. And then on the 16th, we have our new moon in Leo. And that's about kind of these new creative projects. So doing something a little bit unconventional, trying out something new or different. So new moon cycles are all about like a new path, a new journey, a new something. And then towards the end of the month, on the 27th, we do have Mars entering Libra, and that's going to bring you kind of like more energy and drive in terms of dealing with people. So maybe you've been a little bit frustrated or bogged down with a lot of the heavy energies that have been going on lately. So at the end of the month, you'll kind of get that push with some additional energy to be able to interact more effectively, I guess, with people. And then the last thing we'll touch on before we get started on your cards is there is going to be a blue moon in Pisces at the end of the month. So that's on August 30th, 31st, and that's going to be a supermoon. So that's the second supermoon in August, and this one is going to be about some major endings. So our full moon time, that's usually about endings, like closing out cycles, closing out lessons, things like that. But this one's going to be a major one, and expect to have a lot of increased emotional energy. So you want to spend a lot of time in like meditation and working on healing and praying, and it's really about kind of shedding what isn't serving you anymore, and really trying to lighten your load so that you can be more peacefully and joyfully on your path. So greater, working on greater connection to your intuition during that time. And that's going to be really important as you start to make your way, through the second part of the month. So let's go ahead and dive in on our job career standpoint and see what's coming up for you. So in the recent past, we have Ace of Cups in reverse, current energy being the Nine of Cups in reverse, and your upcoming energy, or what's happening in the near future, is the Hanged Man. So you've been in a position where you feel like you've had some creative blocks and some losses. Maybe you've had some projects that didn't go well or got passed up for a promotion, things like that. And that's kind of leaving you feeling disappointed and unfulfilled, naturally when, if you've been passed over for something, or if there's a loss, maybe you lost your actual job, kind of having that disappointed, unfulfilled type of energy, which is really going to push you into this Hanged Man state. And with the Hanged Man, since that's a self-imposed state, it's really about rebirth, seeing things from a different perspective. It's about thinking about change and what needs to happen in my life to make it more fulfilling, to make it happier, to make it seem like feel like I'm on my path of where I'm supposed to be. And one of the other things that's coming up towards the end of the month, on the 28th, we do have Uranus moving. It's in Taurus and it's going retrograde. So that's about breaking free of some of these stagnant routines and, embracing change. And, again, it's kind of the shedding what's not working and putting together a plan for the future. So right now, if you're in that really dull, unfulfilling energy from a work perspective, maybe you're between jobs, really over the next few weeks, you're being pushed into this energy to see things from all different perspectives, figure out what your next step is, and then make those plans and put together that plan for the future so that you can jump out there and, really make your life feel more fulfilling for you. So let's take a look at at relationships and love. All right. So the first one, you have your Three of Wands in reverse as your past energy, the Lovers in reverse as your current energy, and coming in you have the Empress. So you've been in a place where you've been clinging to the past, and there's all these obstacles. And so this is kind of what you're starting to come out of, is that, looking back at the past, and, this is either you're looking at it like, this is what caused me to be in the situation I'm in now. Maybe you're looking back longingly like, oh, I wish that things were what they were. And so that's putting you in this imbalanced position right now. It also is giving you feelings of disharmony. You're out of balance. So if this is related to a relationship, so for people that are either currently in a relationship or maybe very, very recently out of one, it's giving you that feeling of, maybe you don't trust your partner because you're looking back to the past and looking at what were some of those obstacles, what were some of those frustrations. So you're kind of being drawn down into that negative energy and some of the, what ifs, what if I would have done this? What if I would have done that? So that's I guess a push to kind of quiet your mind and not let yourself run too many of those. Well, what if I had done this? What if I had done this? Because the energy that's coming in is that femininity, that divinity, that abundance, that flowing energy. For some of you, this is also a card about fertility and pregnancy. Depending on your situation, not necessarily the birth of an actual child, but maybe it's the birth of a new relationship, a new phase in your life, a new understanding, things along those lines. So one of the things to caution you about, given that you've been in this energy in the past and sitting here right now in this disharmony and distrust, is Mercury is going retrograde on the 23rd. And Mercury in retrograde always makes people irritable. There's lots of miscommunication. Timing's usually off. Sometimes technology issues going on there. So be very careful and tread lightly if you're still in this relationship, but you're just having those feelings and, why is this so stagnant? Why am I feeling so distant from my partner? If you are in a relationship, make sure you're watching how you're communicating, since the Mercury in retrograde, even though it happens on the 23rd, there's usually kind of that, I guess, shadow energy leading up to it. And the last thing you need is to say something you didn't mean or have it be misinterpreted, and pushing you into, I guess, kind of further distress. Remember as well that Venus is also still in retrograde up until September 3rd. So we're coming to the end of this Venus retrograde period. And Venus retrograde is all about looking at your relationships, and it's kind of a make it or break it sort of time frame for relationships. So with the Gemini desire to communicate, just make sure that you're being very clear. I would also certainly recommend lots of meditation, lots of grounding. Make sure that you're communicating from a balanced place, not from a place of being triggered by something where it's going to end up making it spiral kind of out of control. We are still also in Neptune in retrograde until the beginning of December. And that's Neptune in retrograde is kind of about confusion and confronting illusions and prioritizing self-care. So it could be that some of your Three of Wands in reverse energy with the frustrations and the obstacles and stuff like that, some of it could be an illusion, or if you're feeling like things are imbalanced and feeling that disharmony, it could be an illusion brought on by this Neptune retrograde. So just something to be mindful of as you proceed and have conversations for those of you in relationships. All right, let's take a look at life path and mission. Knight of Pentacles in reverse, Three of Swords in reverse, and Temperance in reverse. So your Knight of Pentacles in reverse, that's kind of like this irresponsible, sort of lazy energy. Like you haven't really maybe been focusing a whole lot of time on that. And, or maybe you focused little bits of time on it and didn't really get what you were thinking you were going to get. So you kind of just let it fizzle, but you are in this energy of optimism and moving on. So even though it's been kind of disappointing, there's a little bit of that surge of optimism or enthusiasm or hope for how to move your mission forwards. But in the near future or the incoming energy, it's also that imbalanced energy and some of that recklessness or hastiness. So it seems like there was a little bit of like the pendulum kind of keeps swinging back and forth. So on one side, you're lazy, you're not doing much, but then it's like, but here we could do this. I could get going in this direction. And then it's like, maybe not. So it seems like this is a kind of an unsettled sort of path along here, just in terms of where things are going with your mission and where and how you need to be focusing your energy. And let's see. So in terms of some of the other ones, the Saturn is still in retrograde as well until like the middle of or early November. And that's about how to attain your goals and where are you investing your energy. So I would say here, if you're looking at your life path and your mission, you need to have a little bit more consistent, focused energy there so that way you're not bouncing back and forth between feeling like, I'm not really doing much, but now I have a surge of energy, and then now it kind of tapers off again. So I would say there's probably also distraction coming along here, because since it looks like from the job perspective that, there's some feeling unfulfilled here, and then there's some energy here within your relationships as well, that there's some imbalance. And, it seems like there's frustrations and things that are drawing on your energy up here in the rest of your life. And that's bleeding over into your mission. Because, you only have so much energy. You only have so much energetic bandwidth to be able to do things. And so some of it, especially as we talk about, there's all these different retrogrades, and that's calling on you to turn within and look and see, where are your imbalances? Where should you be focusing your energy? It's especially for you, Gemini, there's a lot of things, a career, a job, your security in terms of making money is a big thing. Your relationships with other people, it's a big thing. And so it seems like you maybe just don't really have a lot of bandwidth right now to deal with some of the life and mission part. So, which is fine. In some seasons of life, certain things need your attention more than others. But if you can focus on where is it that you want to be, some of these other things may settle a little bit better for you. Otherwise, if you are in a position where you're constantly chasing whatever the squeaky wheel is, this is the fire I have to put out today. This is the fire I have to put out. It's going to be very difficult to get to where you want to go if it's constantly reacting to all these things that are coming at you versus saying, this is where I want to go. Yes, this is coming at me, but, deflect it. It's not high up on my priority list. So, the Gaia card was Lost Love, Surrender, Healing, and Release. So this, this message here for Gemini it's painting this picture that this love, like this line here, is going to be dramatically changing. So you do have your Empress energy as your next level of energy that, like we talked about, that you have this abundance and this creativity and this femininity. But it seems like that is on the other side of this lost love. So whether it's that the actual relationship is fully ending because of this disharmony, this imbalance, or whether it's that phase of that relationship is ending, you'll know, however that resonates for you, you'll know the truth of that situation for you. But it is looking like that's something that's coming to an end for you, and that part of it is just a matter of needing to surrender to the divine, that there's a reason for this. There's a reason for your struggles, that you're needing to learn a lesson that's going to serve you better in the future and make you grow stronger in the future. And, with this Empress energy coming in, that is, I would say that is that, when we talk about the divinity part and the nurturing part and all of that, whatever issues have happened here is setting you up to be that Empress that's calling in your Emperor. But, all right, let's see what comes in for the Sacred Creator. That is limitations inspire innovation. So with that, anytime you are in a situation where you feel like you're being limited for whatever reason, you can either look at that and say, oh, I guess I just can't do that. Or what do I need to do to make that not be an obstacle anymore? Sometimes that could be a situation where, you have to come up with a different creative approach, some innovative approach. But it's with this one, it's, don't let these limitations throw you off course to the point where you're saying, nope, I guess this isn't happening at all. Let that tap into your creativity and figuring out how to, how to move past that. All right, let's take a look at your flower card. Heart's Ease. Learn by fully feeling. So some of this, for some of you, it could be that you're not, either moving forward in your life path because you're not fully opening up yourself to what does that mean if I decide to go down this path. Maybe you're in the financial sector, or you're a banker or something, but you're saying, you know what, I really want to be a sculptor. That's what's calling to me. And, you're kind of blocking off that energy because you're going, well, I make a whole lot more money in the, in the financial sector than I would. So you need to let yourself feel those feelings of this is what I'm being drawn to. And even here, with it being Heart's Ease and talking about feeling, I would say in this line here, where we're looking at your relationships and romantic partnerships, and that there's this, frustration, you're replaying past arguments, past hurts, and it's really, you're stuck in this disharmony and distrust and imbalance within your relationship. I know sometimes it's easier to be like, you know what, I just don't care. I'm just going to turn it off. I just don't care. And I need to focus on something else. But the only way you're going to learn from these lessons is to allow yourself to fully feel whatever it is that you're feeling, and acknowledge that feeling and let that help you heal. Because the more you kind of try to bury what you're feeling, you're not actually healing it. You're just saying, I'm going to try to bully those feelings into the corner so that I can go on with my life. But that's not really learning the lessons. That's just temporarily imprisoning, those emotions and hoping that they go away on their own, but it's not really healing them. So that's the way you're going to move into this Empress energy, is by letting yourself feel those feelings and help them identify what is the core wound that is causing those feelings. One of these, and I read this great little, quote or blurb about anger is actually, that's the part of you that loves you the most. Like when you get angry about something, it's, generally because somebody has mistreated you, and the anger in you is saying, no, wait a minute. I need to stand up for my inner child. I need to stand up for me. And so that's what gets you angry and fired up, is because you're not being treated with the, whatever it is, the respect, the dignity, the courtesy that you should be treated with. So even when in your place of anger, let yourself feel that. And, if you can step back and really think about, okay, why am I feeling this? Why am I feeling that? And get to the core of those, you'll be able to move past whatever this awkward yuck stage is, and move into that Empress energy to really exude that femininity and that divinity, and really move into a more fulfilling stage in your life for you. So I hope this has been helpful. And as always, take only what resonates and leave the rest behind. I will be doing some additional videos, some of those is this your person videos and twin flame reading. So if you want to be alerted as to when those videos drop, make sure to hit the notification bell. Otherwise, I wish you joy and peace along your journey, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.